Hi and welcome sa aking channel. Ako po si Ryan at dito ibabahagi ko sa inyo ang aking mga tips and techniques sa mathematics. And for this video ay magsisimula ako ng series on uh, solving word problems involving fractions. So para simulan, narito na po ang ating problem. So basahin ko po sa inyo ang mga information sa problem. At a children's show, 2 over 7 or 2/7 of the people attending were adults. The rest were children. 2 over 5 of the children were boys. There were 120 girls attending the children's show. So ito na po yung ating mga questions. We have two questions. Number one, how many children were there at the children's show? And pangalawa, how many people were there at the children's show? As always, we need to understand some key pieces of information before we jumpstart on our solution. So, para sa problem na ito, meron tayong mga iilan na kailangan nating maintindihan bago tayo mag-proceed doon sa solution. Una dyan ay, what do we know about the people who went to the show? So, ano ba yung alam natin doon sa mga taong nagpunta sa show? Alam natin that we have a group of adults and a group of children. And doon sa children, meron pa tayong breakdown ng number of boys and number of girls. But most of the information that we know are in fraction, uh, except that of the girls, which we are given with 120 girls. Now, ano pa po yung kailangan natin maintindihan? Mas marami ba ang mga children kaysa adults? That we can actually infer from the problem. Now, since 2 over 7 is the total number of adults who attended in the children's show, the remaining were children. So ano kaya yung remaining na yun? Is that greater than 2 over 7? Later on in the solution, we will see it or we will find it out. Next is, mas marami ba ang boys kaysa girls? Okay. For some of us, we can easily infer that mas marami nga ang girls kaysa boys. Or, yun nga. And some of us may also infer na mas marami nga ang children kaysa mga adults. Okay. So now let's proceed with uh, the basic thing, which is what do we need to find? And according to the questions that we have, meron tayong dalawang hinahanap. Yung total number of children at yung total number of people who attended at the children's show. So as we start, we need to have a plan. And as we plan, we can draw a model. At ito yung aking i-magnify dito sa video na ito. I'll be using a technique in problem solving na ginagamit sa Singapore Mathematics. At ito yung tinatawag na bar model technique or approach. So, dahil gagamit tayo ng bar model, ang una natin gagawin is we have to draw and we have to label appropriate parts of the bar model. Okay, so here's the bar model and it is being divided into 7 equal units or equal parts. Now, ang tanong nyo, bakit kaya 7? Kailangan 7. Now, based on the information that we got from the problem, meron tayong 2 over 7 na fraction representing the number of adults. Ibig sabihin, mas relevant sa atin if we divide, mas madali para sa atin din na if we divide the bar model into 7 equal units or equal parts. Dahil dito, we can label the given information properly. So, una natin maili-label ay yung number of adults or the fraction represented by the number of adults. In this case, we have 2 over 7. So, yung natitira would be the number of children because that is also uh, being given in the problem that the rest of the attendees were children. But wait, there's more, no? meron pa pong meron pa pong breakdown yung number of children. So based on these five remaining units, or with these five remaining units, we can break this down into the number of boys and the number of girls. One is a fraction, the other is a whole number. So alin dito yung number of boys? Since meron tayong limang natitirang units, sabi doon 2/5 or 2/5 of the children who attended were boys. So ibig sabihin yung 2/5 na yan, yung dalawang units na yan, also represent the number of boys. And the remaining three units, in this case, visually sa mga nakakakita, they can see that these three remaining units were or are or represent the number of children. These three units represent the number of, not children, but the number of girls. Okay, with this information and with this bar model, we can have we can deduce and we can excuse me, we can deduce some key information. But before that, let's go on with the things that we are required to answer. The first thing is we need to find out the number of children. Yan yung unang hinahanap. At yung pangalawa, we need to find out the total number of people who attended uh, at the children's show. Okay. So what we can do with this information or with this bar model that we have on your screen, we can do one key thing, which is to solve for the value of each unit. So what does each unit stand for, or what does each unit represent? Now, because meron tayong 120 girls, that is a key information, and that is also equal to 3 units, we can find out the value of each unit simply by dividing 120 by 3, and that can easily be deduced from the illustration. So 120 divided by 3 is equal to 40 or 40 people. So 40 pala ang value ng bawat unit. At dahil each unit is 40, we can actually solve for the number of children. In this case, that 5 units on our bar model uh, represent the total number of children. So what we can do is multiply 5 or 40 by 5. So 5 times 40 is equal to 200. Therefore, we have 200 children who attended in the children's show. Next is we can also find out the total number of people who attended simply by multiplying 40 by 7, since we have 7 equal units on our bar model. And 7 times 40 is equal to 280 people who attended at the children's show. As always, our last step is to check if our answers are indeed uh, accurate or are indeed correct, no? So, kailangan natin i-check. So, let's go back to the information that we are given with, no? Doon sa problem na meron tayo. We can also make use of the illustration, the bar model that we had with all the labels na meron ito. Okay, so let us check. Since we um, found out that there are 280 total number of people who attended, and 2 over 7 of that is equal to the number of adults. So we can solve for the number of adults. 2 over 7 of 280 is equal to 2 over 7 times 280, and that is equal to 80. Next information, uh, with that information, alam natin na meron na tayong 80 adults. Now, let us check kung totoo ngang 200 yung ating number of children. So we can subtract 80 from 280. Kasi yung 80 na yan yung number of adults. So 280 is the total number of people. 280 minus 80 is equal to 200. So totoo nga na 200 yung total number of children. Next thing is to solve or find out to check if there are to check for the number of boys, no? So we can solve for the number of boys. we know that two-fifths of the number of children, or two-fifths of the children, were boys. So multiplying two-fifths by two by not by 280 but by 200, two-fifths of 200 is equal to 80. So we have 80 boys. And finally, to check if tama ba yung ating tama ba lahat ng ating mga sagot, we can uh, subtract 80, which is the number of boys, from the total number of children. So 200 as the total number of children minus 80 is equal to 120. At yun nga, tumpak na we have uh, 120 girls, no? So we have 120 girls who attended in the children's show. Okay. So, yan, maraming salamat po sa inyong panonood at pakikinig. And if you learned something from this video, kindly consider subscribing and also liking. Hanggang sa susunod, God bless us all.